Karen accused vendor of blocking sidewalk, then pushed his cart. The street was alive with the hum of early evening, horns blaring, and the chatter of pedestrians weaving through the city's pulse. Maria, a single mother of two, hustled down Fifth Street, her nurse's scrubs still clinging to her skin after a grueling 12-hour shift. She was late to pick up her kids from daycare, her mind racing with the usual worries: bills, groceries, the leak in her apartment ceiling. But as she rounded the corner, a piercing shriek sliced through the noise, stopping her dead in her tracks. "Move your filthy cart. You're blocking the whole sidewalk." The voice belonged to a woman in a crisp white blouse, her blonde bob swaying as she jabbed a manicured finger at Javier, the tamale vendor who'd been a fixture on this corner for years. Maria recognized him instantly. His warm smile had greeted her countless times when she grabbed dinner for her kids. The woman, though, was new. Maria's gut churned. She knew this type, a Karen, armed with entitlement and ready to detonate. Javier stood behind his cart, his weathered hands gripping the edge, his face calm but strained. "Ma'am, I'm sorry. I'll move it a little, but this is my spot. I've been here for years." His voice was steady, accented, carrying the weight of someone who'd faced this kind of storm before. The woman Karen, as Maria would later learn her name, scoffed, her eyes narrowing. "Your spot. This is a public sidewalk, not your personal marketplace. People like you think you own the place." Her voice dripped with venom, loud enough to draw a small crowd. Maria edged closer, her exhaustion giving way to unease. Karen's tirade escalated, her words sharper with each breath. "You're a hazard. Look at this mess grease. Trash. Blocking my way. I'm calling the city on you." She waved her phone like a weapon, her face flushed with righteous fury. Javier's cart was neatly tucked against the curb, leaving plenty of room for pedestrians, but Karen's outrage painted it as a barricade. Maria noticed a young woman in the crowd, phone raised, recording the scene. A teenage boy on a skateboard slowed down, smirking. An elderly man with a cane muttered something under his breath. The air crackled with tension, and Maria felt her stomach knot tighter. Javier tried again, his voice softer now, almost pleading. "Ma'am, I'm just trying to make a living. I pay for my permit. I clean up every night." But Karen wasn't hearing it. She stepped closer, her heels clicking ominously on the pavement. "A living, you're a nuisance. This street's gone to hell because of people like you." The crowd murmured, some nodding in agreement, others shifting uncomfortably. Maria's hands balled into fists. She wanted to step in, to say something, but her kids were waiting, and she couldn't afford trouble. Then came the twist no one saw coming. A man in a faded denim jacket pushed through the crowd, his face weathered but kind, his arms cradling a small cardboard box. "Javier, I got those extra napkins you asked for," he called, oblivious to the storm brewing. It was Carlos, Javier's cousin, who sometimes helped with the cart. He stopped short, sensing the hostility. "What's going on?" he asked, his eyes darting between Javier and Karen. Karen whirled on him, her voice a snarl. "Oh, great, another one of you. What is this? A family business of clogging up the street?" Carlos blinked, stunned, but before he could respond, Karen's gaze locked back on Javier. "Move this cart now, or I'll do it myself." Javier raised his hands, trying to de-escalate. Okay, I'll shift it a bit. Just please." But Karen was done waiting. In a flash, she lunged forward, her hands slamming into the cart's handle. With a grunt of effort, she shoved it hard. The cart teetered, then crashed onto its side with a sickening crunch. Tamales spilled across the sidewalk, their corn husks splitting open. Glass jars of salsa shattered, red and green sauce splattering like a crime scene. Oranges and limes rolled into the street, some crushed under passing cars. The crowd gasped, a collective inhale of shock. Javier stumbled back, his face crumpling as he stared at the wreckage of his livelihood. Maria's heart sank. That cart wasn't just metal and wheels. It was Javier's pride, his family's survival. "You can't do that," Carlos shouted, dropping his box and rushing to Javier's side. The young woman with the phone stepped closer, her lens trained on Karen, who stood unapologetic, brushing her hands as if she'd just swatted a fly. "Maybe now you'll learn to respect the rules," Karen snapped, her voice cold. The crowd erupted, some yelling at Karen, others muttering about those vendors. Maria's blood boiled. She'd seen enough. Stepping forward, she planted herself between Karen and Javier. "Lady, you've got no right to touch his stuff." Maria's voice shook, but it carried the weight of her own struggles, years of being dismissed, overlooked, pushed aside. Karen turned, her eyes narrowing. "Excuse me, who are you to talk to me like that? Mind your own business?" But Maria didn't back down. "This is my business. This is our street, our community. You don't get to destroy someone's work because you're having a bad day." The crowd's murmurs grew louder, some cheering Maria on. The teenage skateboarder piped up, "Yeah, that was messed up." The elderly man with the cane nodded, his voice gravelly but firm. "She's right. That man's done nothing wrong." Karen's confidence faltered, her eyes darting to the growing crowd. The young woman with the phone was still recording, her expression grim. "This is going viral," she said, almost to herself. Karen's face paled, but she doubled down. "I'm protecting this neighborhood. You all should thank me." Her voice cracked, betraying a hint of panic. Javier, still kneeling by his cart, looked up, his eyes glistening but his voice steady. "I don't want trouble. I just want to work." His words hung heavy, silencing the crowd for a moment. Maria felt a lump in her throat. She thought of her own kids, how she'd do anything to provide for them, just like Javier. Then came the reckoning. A police officer, alerted by the commotion, pushed through the crowd. He was a stocky man with a no-nonsense demeanor, his badge glinting under the streetlights. "What's going on here?" he demanded. The young woman with the phone stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "I've got it all on video." She pushed his cart over, unprovoked. She held up her phone, the screen glowing with the evidence. The officer's eyes narrowed as he turned to Karen. "Is that true?" "Ma'am," Karen stammered, her bravado crumbling. I was just trying to clear the sidewalk. He was in the way, but the crowd wasn't having it." Voices overlapped, recounting the scene, pointing to the spilled food, the broken glass. Javier stood, brushing dirt from his hands, his voice quiet but resolute. "I have a permit. I've never caused trouble." She pushed my cart. The officer glanced at the wreckage, then back at Karen. "You can't take matters into your own hands, ma'am. That's property damage." As the officer questioned Karen further, Maria helped Javier and Carlos right the cart. The damage was brutal bent metal, a cracked burner, hours of food prep ruined, but the crowd rallied. The elderly man offered to sweep up the glass. The skateboarder ran to a nearby bodega for a broom. The young woman with the video, whose name was Lila, uploaded the clip to X, captioning it, "Karen versus vendor on 5th Street, justice needed." Within minutes, it was racking up views, comments flooding in with outrage and support for Javier. Karen's fate sealed itself as the video spread. By the next morning, it had hit local news blogs, then national outlets. The headline screamed, "Woman topples vendor's cart in viral outburst." Commenters tore into Karen, digging up her social media, where she'd posted rants about cleaning up the city. Her employer, a high-end real estate firm, issued a statement distancing themselves, and whispers of her termination followed. The public's verdict was swift and merciless. Karen had become a pariah. Meanwhile, the community rallied around Javier. A crowdfunding campaign, started by Lila, raised thousands to replace his cart and cover losses. Strangers stopped by his corner, offering cash, kind words, even helping him serve tamales when he reopened days later. Maria brought her kids by, their eyes wide as Javier handed them free tamales, his smile back but tinged with weariness. "Thank you," he told her, his voice thick. "You spoke up when it mattered." Maria shrugged, embarrassed. Anyone would have, but the story didn't end there. The incident sparked heated debates online and in the neighborhood. Was Karen just a frustrated citizen or a bully drunk on privilege? Was Javier's cart really a problem? Or was it Karen's prejudice that fueled the clash? Lila's video kept the conversation alive, with ex-users split, some defending Karen's right to a clear sidewalk, others calling her actions a textbook abuse of power. The debate raged in coffee shops, on stoops, in group chats, each side digging in. As weeks passed, Javier's cart became a symbol. People came from across the city to buy his tamales, leaving notes of support pinned to a wooden board he set up by his stand. One read, "Keep going. Javier, you're the heart of Fifth Street." Karen, meanwhile, faded into obscurity, her name a cautionary tale. Maria, walking home one evening, past Javier's cart, now gleaming with a new burner and fresh paint. He waved her over, handing her a tamale wrapped in foil. "For you, amiga," he said. She smiled, the weight of her day lifting just a little. What do you think? Was Karen's outburst justified, or did she cross a line? Share your thoughts below.